You're silently sabotaging your liver, heart, and memory every day, all because of this one healthy nut. Why does your blood sugar rise even when you eat healthy foods? Many people over 65 still believe that macadamia nuts are good, but there are 13 types that can secretly harm your heart, liver, and memory. 1 in 3 adults over 65 in America has high blood pressure, and certain nuts can silently make it worse without you realizing. Why do just a few steps make you feel out of breath and dizzy? After 65, every bite is either medicine or poison. Let's start with the first nut silently weakening your knees. 1. Macadamia, the fatty nut that silently weakens the knees. Have you ever heard this before? Just 10 small macadamia nuts, soft, buttery, melt in your mouth, can carry over 200 calories and 21 grams of fat. For a young person, that's just a snack. But after 65, your body doesn't process energy the same way, and that small indulgence can quickly become a silent weight on your heart, joints, and metabolism. Here's something most people don't realize. Macadamias are rich in healthy fats, but they're extremely calorie-dense. As metabolism slows with age, those extra calories don't get burned off. They're stored, usually around the belly, the liver, and inside the joints. Over time, this adds pressure on the knees and hips, increases blood sugar swings, and quietly feeds inflammation in the body. Does this sound familiar? You wake up feeling heavy in the lower back. Your knees ache a little more when you stand. You need to push with your hands just to get out of a chair. It's easy to blame aging, but your healthy snack might be playing a bigger role than you think. And there's another layer to this. Most people aren't eating plain macadamia nuts. They're eating the ones roasted in butter, glazed with caramel, dipped in chocolate, or packed in sugary trail mixes. That turns this fatty snack into a double threat, with spikes in both saturated fat and blood sugar. For anyone managing diabetes or heart issues, that's a dangerous combination. So what can you do? You don't have to give them up entirely, but eat them like a flavor, not a snack. Maybe crush 1 or 2 into a salad, not a whole handful. And if you're looking for a safer daily nut, switch to almonds or walnuts. They've got more fiber, more protein, and they help you feel full without overwhelming your system. 2. Peanut, the familiar nut that could be silently poisoning your liver. Did you know one of the most popular healthy snacks could be harming your liver without any warning signs? You've probably been eating peanuts your whole life. Peanut butter sandwiches, roasted snacks, ballpark handfuls. But here's the dark side. Peanuts aren't really nuts, they're legumes, and that makes them especially vulnerable to a toxic mold called aflatoxin. This mold can grow during harvesting and storage. Even small, regular exposures over time have been linked to liver damage, inflammation, and a higher risk of liver cancer, especially in older adults with weakened detox systems. And if you think allergies don't change with age, think again. Peanut sensitivity can develop later in life, even after decades of tolerance. One bite could trigger sudden swelling, breathing trouble, or worse, a reaction your body can't handle as easily as before. Worse still, most store-bought peanut butters are filled with hydrogenated oils, sugar, and salt, all of which increase blood pressure and burden the heart. Even dry roasted peanuts may form acrylamide, a compound with potential links to cognitive decline. If you love the taste, switch to natural peanut butter, with no additives, or better yet, opt for almond or sunflower butter. It's safer for your liver, better for your blood sugar, and far less likely to trigger inflammation. With age, even the foods we once trusted may turn against us, unless we make the smart swap. 3. Cashew, the creamy favorite that may be hard on your kidneys. They feel soft and safe, but could cashews be the reason your kidneys are working harder than they should? Cashews are soft, buttery, and beloved by many, especially seniors who prefer gentler textures. But beneath that smooth exterior is a compound called oxalate, and it's not senior-friendly. Oxalates bind with calcium in the body. Over time, this can lead to kidney stones, reduced bone strength, and pain that seems to come out of nowhere. And cashews are particularly high in oxalates, much more than almonds or pistachios. If you've ever felt dull lower back pain, changes in urination, or strange fatigue without explanation, it could be your kidneys waving a red flag. And that's not the only concern. Cashews also have more carbohydrates than most nuts, which makes them risky for anyone managing pre-diabetes or insulin resistance. They may not taste sweet, but they have a higher glycemic impact, quietly nudging your blood sugar higher. Plus, store-bought cashews are rarely raw. They're roasted in oils, salted, or processed, which adds even more sodium and unhealthy fats. If you enjoy the creaminess, limit cashew use to small amounts in sauces, not by the handful, or try walnuts or almonds instead. They offer better blood sugar control, more fiber, and less kidney stress. Sometimes, the softest snacks hide the sharpest risks, especially for aging bodies. 4. Pine nut, the tiny nut that can disrupt taste, medication, and appetite. Have you ever had food suddenly taste metallic for days and had no idea why? They're small, delicate, and often found in gourmet dishes like pesto, but pine nuts can cause a strange and very senior-specific problem: pine mouth, a metallic, bitter taste that lingers for days after eating. This condition can make water taste sour, fruits taste off, and meals suddenly lose appeal. For older adults already dealing with reduced appetite, this can lead to weight loss, weakness, and poor nutrition without warning. Even more concerning, pine nuts contain enzyme inhibitors that interfere with protein digestion, a big problem for seniors already struggling to absorb nutrients. They also spoil quickly, producing oxidized fats that can worsen inflammation, joint pain, and heart strain. And here's what most seniors don't know. Pine nuts may interact with over 60% of prescription medications, including statins and blood pressure drugs. Most doctors don't warn about this, but it matters, especially if you're taking daily meds. Want to stay safe? Refrigerate pine nuts immediately after buying. Eat only in tiny amounts and skip them entirely if you've ever noticed food tasting off for days after. For a safer crunch in your salads, try sunflower seeds or chopped walnuts. Your medications and your appetite will thank you. 5. Almond. Healthy for some, but risky for those with swallowing issues. Almonds are packed with nutrients, but could their hardness turn them into a choking hazard for older adults? Almonds are often praised as one of the healthiest nuts, and that's true if your body can handle them. They're rich in vitamin E, magnesium, and monounsaturated fats, which support heart and bone health. But there's a hidden risk for many seniors: choking. Almonds are hard, dry, and require strong chewing and saliva. But after 65, many people deal with dry mouth, dental work, or weakened swallowing reflexes, especially those on multiple medications. That makes almonds a choking hazard, particularly when eaten too fast or without enough moisture. And for seniors who live alone, this can become a silent danger with real consequences. Beyond texture, almonds are dense in fiber and fat, which can cause bloating or discomfort if eaten in large amounts, especially if your digestion has slowed. So how can you still enjoy their benefits? Try sliced almonds, soaked almonds, or unsweetened almond butter. All the nutrition, none of the chewing risk. And if you're looking for variety, mix in soft nuts like pistachios or walnuts. They're easier on your teeth and still packed with nutrients. Good nutrition isn't just about what you eat, it's about what your body can safely handle. 6. Pistachio. The crunchy green nut that can quietly raise your pressure. Think pistachios are the perfect light snack? They may be, until your blood pressure tells a different story. Pistachios are fun to eat, easy to love, and packed with nutrients. But for seniors, too much of a good thing hits harder. While pistachios are lower in calories than macadamias or pecans, they still carry a surprising amount of sodium, especially in flavored or prepackaged varieties. Salted pistachios, even slightly salted ones, can quietly raise blood pressure and fluid retention, increasing the risk for heart issues and swollen legs in older adults. You may not feel it right away, but over time, daily salted pistachio snacking can cause chronic low-grade hypertension, headaches, dizziness, and tightness in your chest, all of which are easily blamed on age. Even more, if you're shelling pistachios quickly while watching TV or chatting with friends, it's easy to overeat them, sometimes by the hundreds. And that's a lot of salt and calories in one go. If you love the crunch, look for unsalted in-shell pistachios and take your time eating them. The shelling process slows down how much you eat and helps with mindful snacking. Want the benefits without the risks? Enjoy a small handful, about 30 to 40 nuts, no more than a few times a week. And skip the bright green flavored ones at the gas station. They're not your friend. In senior health, even small amounts of salt can have a big effect. 7. Brazil nut. Just one may be too much for your thyroid. Ever heard that too much of one nutrient can slow you down? Brazil nuts prove it. They're creamy, rich, and famous for being high in selenium, a mineral that supports thyroid function and helps regulate energy, metabolism, and mood. Sounds perfect, right? Not quite. Because just one Brazil nut contains over 100% of your daily selenium needs, and eating just 2 or 3 daily for several weeks can lead to selenium overload. That means symptoms like fatigue, brittle nails, memory fog, and even hair loss, all of which many seniors already struggle with. What's worse, the signs of selenium toxicity often go unnoticed, chalked up to aging or medication side effects. But inside, your thyroid may be slowing down, throwing off hormones that affect your entire body. And since Brazil nuts are high in fat, they also spoil quickly. Rancid nuts not only taste bitter, they produce harmful oxidized fats that can contribute to inflammation and digestive problems in older adults. So what should you do? Keep them refrigerated and limit yourself to no more than 1 Brazil nut a day. That's all you need to get the benefit without the hidden damage. And if you already take a selenium supplement, skip these nuts altogether. It's not just what you eat, it's how much. 8. Walnut brain food, or bitter trigger. They look like tiny brains, but for some seniors, walnuts may cause more confusion than clarity. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and melatonin, all of which support brain health, reduce inflammation, and improve sleep. But there's a catch. They spoil fast, and when they do, they become pro-inflammatory instead of healing. That bitter aftertaste some walnuts have? It's not just flavor, it's oxidation. Rancid walnuts produce harmful compounds that stress the liver, irritate the gut, and increase joint pain, especially in aging bodies that don't detox as efficiently. On top of that, walnuts are high in calories, and eating them by the handful can easily lead to weight gain, a concern for seniors already dealing with slowed metabolism and weaker joints. And for those with sensitive digestion, walnuts may trigger bloating or loose stools if eaten on an empty stomach. Here's how to make them safe. Store walnuts in the fridge, in an airtight container. Only eat fresh, unsalted halves, and if they smell even slightly off, toss them. A handful a few times a week is plenty. To boost absorption, try them with a little fruit, like berries, or mix into oatmeal. That gives you steady energy, brain support, and digestive ease without the downside. With walnuts, freshness is everything, especially for a brain that deserves protection. 9. Hazelnuts. Crunchy and elegant, but a choking risk in disguise. They're small, round, and look harmless, but hazelnuts may be the hardest nut for seniors to safely swallow. Hazelnuts are rich in vitamin E and healthy fats, yes, but their rock-hard texture makes them one of the most difficult nuts for older adults to chew and digest. For seniors with dentures, dry mouth, or weakened jaw strength, hazelnuts can pose a real choking hazard. Even more concerning, their round, slick surface makes them high risk for aspiration, meaning they can accidentally slip into the airway and cause coughing fits, or worse, silent aspiration, which leads to infections like pneumonia without warning signs. And let's not forget digestion. Hazelnuts are dense and high in phytic acid, a compound that can block the absorption of critical minerals like calcium and zinc, both of which are already difficult for seniors to retain. You might think a few hazelnuts in a holiday treat won't hurt, but repeated exposure can quietly lead to nutritional deficiencies, or a surprise trip to the ER if swallowing goes wrong. Instead of raw hazelnuts, try hazelnut butter unsweetened in small amounts, or blend roasted hazelnuts into smoothies where the risk of choking is eliminated. And if you've ever had a coughing episode after eating nuts, don't ignore it. Your body may be telling you it needs something gentler. 10. Sunflower seeds. Tiny but salty. And sneaky for your blood pressure. They're small, easy to snack on, and seem healthy, but sunflower seeds can quietly overload your body with salt. Most sunflower seeds you'll find at the store come heavily salted, especially the ones sold in big packs for snacking. Just a handful can contain up to 200-300 milligrams of sodium, and since they're so small, it's easy to overeat, leading to a daily sodium intake that quietly climbs past safe levels. For seniors, this spells trouble. High sodium causes the body to retain water, increasing blood pressure, swelling in the legs, and strain on the heart and kidneys, all critical concerns in people over 65. And here's the tricky part. Because they're eaten slowly, seed by seed, people often feel they're eating just a little. But without realizing it, you could be consuming hundreds of calories and a full day's worth of sodium in one sitting. To make matters worse, sunflower seeds are often roasted in oil and flavored with artificial powders, adding trans fats and preservatives into the mix. If you enjoy them, opt for unsalted raw seeds and pre-portion them. Don't eat straight from the bag. Or better yet, switch to pumpkin seeds, which are softer, lower in sodium, and rich in magnesium, a mineral that supports calm nerves and healthy blood pressure. 11. Pecan pie, the dessert that masquerades as a healthy nut. You've heard pecans are healthy, but when they're wrapped in syrup and sugar, they become one of the worst desserts for seniors. Raw pecans are packed with antioxidants, yes, but the moment they're baked into a pie or candied, they transform into a blood sugar bomb, often with over 30 grams of sugar and 400 plus calories per slice. For older adults managing diabetes, prediabetes, or weight issues, this is a dangerous trap. The sugar spikes your blood glucose, then crashes it, leaving you tired, foggy, and craving more sweets just hours later. Not only that, pecan desserts are usually loaded with butter, corn syrup, and processed oils, raising LDL cholesterol and promoting inflammation, especially in joints and blood vessels already under strain. And since they're sweet and soft, they go down easy, meaning you may eat more than you realize before feeling full. If you love pecans, try them lightly toasted and unsalted, or crush a few over a bowl of plain oatmeal or Greek yogurt. You still get the nutty richness without the sugar spiral. Because when it comes to nuts, how they're prepared matters just as much as the nut itself. 12. Pumpkin seeds, the hidden digestive disruptor in your healthy snack. They're often marketed as a clean, natural snack, but pumpkin seeds can quietly upset your stomach and strain digestion in older adults. Pumpkin seeds, or pepitas, are indeed rich in magnesium and zinc, but they also come with a few hidden risks, especially when eaten dry roasted, salted, or in large quantities. One of the biggest concerns is fiber overload. For older adults with slowed digestion or weaker gut motility, a sudden influx of dense fiber from pumpkin seeds can cause bloating, gas, or even constipation, the exact opposite of what most expect from a healthy seed. Even more troubling, most commercial pumpkin seeds are heavily salted or flavored, and often roasted in vegetable oils. This raises your sodium intake and adds inflammatory fats that are no friend to aging joints or sensitive stomachs. And let's not forget dental challenges. The hard outer shells of some pumpkin seeds can damage dentures or crack weakened teeth, a problem often overlooked until it's too late. So what should you do? If you love pumpkin seeds, go for shelled, unsalted versions and eat them slowly, no more than a small handful a few times a week. You can also sprinkle them over soups or blend them into smoothies for added texture and minerals without digestive stress. Remember, just because something is labeled natural doesn't mean it's automatically gentle for older bodies. 13. Trail mix bars, the convenient snack that's closer to candy. They seem like a balanced, portable snack, but trail mix bars can quietly sabotage your health with hidden sugar and fat. These bars often start with good ingredients, nuts, seeds, maybe some dried fruit, but what holds them together? Usually corn syrup, glucose, or sugary binders that turn the whole thing into a dessert in disguise. For seniors watching their blood sugar, weight, or inflammation, these snacks are dangerous. Some bars contain over 20 g of sugar, plus hydrogenated oils and preservatives that raise triglycerides, cloud the mind, and burden your liver. Even the bars that say high protein or no added sugar often rely on sugar alcohols or processed fibers that can cause gas, cramping, or diarrhea, especially in older adults with slower digestion. And the size is deceiving. Because they're compact and chewy, you can eat one in just a few bites, but your body is still dealing with the full sugar and fat load. If you enjoy them, read the label carefully. Look for bars with under 8 g of sugar, no added oils, and fewer than 10 ingredients. Or better yet, make your own, using unsweetened nut butter, oats, and chopped nuts, so you control every bite. In senior health, convenience should never come at the cost of clarity, balance, and long-term well-being. You know, sometimes it's not age that makes us weak. It's the little things, like seemingly healthy foods, that are silently sapping our strength. You don't have to fear nuts. You just need to know which ones to eat and which ones to avoid. You don't have to give them all up. Just cut back on some sugary nuts or replace a bar with walnuts. Think about the last time you felt light, alert, walking without worry. You deserve to feel that way again every day. I know you're watching this video in silence. What do you think if your action today can save one more life, maybe yours or someone you love? Comment below if any of these nuts surprise you. Share this video with your family, especially those over 60. And hit subscribe to join the HEALZO channel where every small tip brings big hope.